share a quick verse from the Bible. I think it's the shortest verse out there. It's from the Gospel of Mark, 11:22, which says, it reads as, "And he said," he being Jesus, "have faith in God." Let us pray. Good and gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for the opportunity to learn from your word. Lord, we just ask you to help us remember who we serve and that we serve with passion, in spite of all the challenges that we might have. Lord, let us be a blessing to one another. We pray for grace and peace. In Jesus' name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is called to order. Madam Clerk, roll call. Councilmember Golding, here. Councilmember Horn. Here. Councilmember Jansen.
Here.
Councilmember Mesa.
Here.
Councilmember Sutton.
Here.
Councilmember Wagner.
Here.
Mayor Hoffman. Here. Councilmember Mesa is not able to join us in person, so we've authorized remote participation so that he can call in and participate in the discussion and vote from home. We'll begin with the approval of minutes. Item A.
I move that we approve the minutes from the regular city council meeting held on April 1st, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item B.
I move that we approve the minutes from the city council briefing held on April 8th, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the agenda?
I move that we approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Announcements. Ms. Golden.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to mention that I participated in the Fletcher Van Donut Dash this past Saturday. I have to admit, I don't like running in circles, but it was worth it for donuts at the end. I was a band member, not at Fletcher, but I love supporting the band, and I hope people will consider supporting the Fletcher band next year in the Donut Dash. It was a lot of fun. Also want to mention, give everybody an update. Senate Bill 280, the vacation rental bill, still has not been sent to the governor yet, but I did talk to Representative Michael today, and she is going to be hand delivering our veto letter to him. She is seeing him tomorrow. So she is still working on that issue for us. Wanted to let everybody know that we have an Earth Day community cleanup coming up this Saturday, April 20th from 9 to 11, and it's at the pier is where it's going to be organized and starting, and Beaches Go Green is actually organizing the event. And I want to thank our Public Works and Parks Department for supporting the event as far as the trash pickup that's going to be picked up by everyone. And then I also want to mention that the Duval Shore Protection Project is expected to start April 23rd. At least that's the latest thing that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has, the latest date that they've announced. And it will start at 10th Avenue South and move south to the Duval County line, and then go back to 10th Avenue South and move north from there, and we can expect it to be done around June 15th. And along those lines, I want to mention that Beaches Watch is doing a meeting on Wednesday, May 1st at 7 p.m. to provide information about this planned beach renourishment so citizens will have a better understanding of what to expect. Kevin Bodge, who is a coastal engineer for the city of Jacksonville, and Jason Hara, who's with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, he's the project manager for this project, will be the speakers, and it will be May 1st at 7 p.m. at the Beaches Branch Library. And I would encourage people to attend so that you can better understand what the plan is for the project. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Golden. Mr. Jansen.
Yes, just a quick message. Last week I was able to attend the meet and greet with the artist that's, if you're not aware, we're having a sculpture put here in the beach. It's going to be in the corner of, between Sneakers and the Walgreens on 2nd Street. It's called Water Walls. There's no water there, but that's just the name of it. It's a pretty interesting sculpture feature. I think it's gonna have an educational piece to it as well. It's actually really beautiful, and it really pays homage to our community, so if you get an opportunity to see it. There is a YouTube link, do you know if that's gonna be posted on our city site? I'm not sure if it is or not, but yeah, I think we can make sure that it gets on there. There's a YouTube link and we'll post it on the city site, so if you wanna take a sneak peek at it, construction has already started, so it looks really good.
Thank you, Mr. Jansen. That was great to meet Xavier Cortada. Good morning, I got you. And he asked about different groups. Since some of you are here, we recommended that the Cup Club at Seabreeze Elementary might be a good group to participate in whatever level would make sense there. Mr. Horn?
I did want to echo and repeat what Councilman Golding said, is that if you want to reach out to the governor or your representatives, please let them know that we do not support Senate Bill 280. It preempts our ability to local level and much contact as they get from the public and the representatives from everybody, and they need to hear from people that they represent. And my only announcement would be that today is tax day, so if that's a big surprise to you, you might want to consult a tax attorney. This is a quick reminder there.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. Mr. Mesa, do you have any announcements?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. I just have a couple. Last week, I attended the commemoration of the SS Gulf America on April 10th. This was a torpedoing of a oil tanker off the coast of Jacksonville Beach in 1942. 19 men were lost in that explosion. It was attended by Secretary of State Cord Byrd, who, if you don't know, is also a Neptune Beach resident. So it was a very nice event at the Veterans Memorial Park within the Oceanfront Park. So if you haven't been by there, it's a really nice spot to stop. It's beautiful, beautifully done, and you should be really proud of it. We are coming right up on opening of the beaches, so I want to let everybody know the Sandcastle contest is back. The City of Jacksonville Beach is taking it over in terms of running it, and they are taking applications now for participants. That will be on Saturday, the 27th. There's going to be a few new activities added, and you'll see some more things added to opening of the beaches in the years to come. Of course, the parade will be on that Sunday, on the 28th. We're also taking applications for participants in the parade. If you are so inclined, it's a lot of fun, and if you're not a participant, please come out and watch it. It's a good one. And then for the council members, we are working on getting a little more citizen involvement in the judging of both the Sandcastle contest and the parade. So I'm working with city staff to ask each of you to nominate one citizen or one to do both, judge the parade and the Sandcastle contest, or one for each. So Allison will be sending out an email tomorrow with more information on that. But it'll be a mixture of citizens and staff, maybe citizens with an artistic lean there for the Sandcastle contest, because as I recall, there's some pretty impressive sand sculptures out there. So that'll be a lot of fun, the 27th and 28th. Make sure you are out there. Any other announcements from council?
I nominate Mike Stefopoulos.
Second.
All right, we have one courtesy of the floor. Everyone else is attached to an agenda item, so we'll call on you when we get there. James Rourke, you're gonna have to tell me how you say that. You'll have 3 minutes. Give us your name and address. You'll have 3 minutes to address the council.
James Rourke, 113 3rd Avenue South, Jacks Beach. First, I want to thank everybody for last week. I attended Monday with the chief, and I really appreciated everything you guys did. I wrote an email to the mayor about 3rd Ave South's parking issues that I've seen firsthand during the two what they call boxing events, where most of the parking was running up and down my street. Since that day, for some reason, the Charlie's and McDonald's had somebody charging for parking this weekend, and I called it the parking wars started all up in the small lots because everybody was fighting for a couple free spots, but it changed the flow of free people just piling up the street from Charlie's, that they would show up with like 15 people in one car and park for free, and it stopped, and it was really amazing. I hope they continue it, and I just wanted to thank you because one email and your meetings really actually made an impact. That's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Clark. You actually don't need to applaud after each speaker. But I do thank you and appreciate you being here. We will move on to the consent agenda.
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
No, excuse me, I was down to speak at this point, and I think it got confused with speaking for an agenda item. And it's Casey Braun.
Okay, Mr. Ron, you get the drill, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was at the events this weekend, which were really full, exciting, and very good. And I had a lot of conversations with people that were unusual because, you know, I'm just hanging around downtown. But one of them was an older gentleman who lives right on the park area there, and he was very concerned about the bar traffic, especially when bars closed, and the type of driving that happens in the lots leaving, tires squealing and engines roaring. And he lived with it up until the recent shootings we've had, and that just raised more of a concern, and he felt as though if there was more control on the exit of the bars at 2 in the morning, which we all know that's when the crap hits the fan, that it would help to prevent or keep a handle on bigger issues that could happen. And I told him that I was sure that the police were restructuring or increasing their attention at bar time and weekend nights, but I promised him I'd speak to the council, so I did, and I'm sure that it will improve. At the same time, I was today at a park and I ran into a bunch of French university soccer, track players who were in a track event at UNF coming up. And I knew them because they spoke French and they're from Nantes, and I talked to them about everything. But they were very complimentary about our beaches area and the atmosphere and the friendliness. And, you know, coming from France, that's a good compliment.
Thank you, Mr. Braun. Apologies for missing you. I do have another, there's a lot of very organized stacks with Post-its and paper clips here, and I apologize that I missed it. We did have an additional courtesy of the floor, Rachel Raish.
Hi, Rachel Grage. I live at 23 30th Avenue South here in Jacksonville Beach. And I was just hoping that the council could address what role the state legislature versus the school board plays in the decision to keep open the school or close it.
Courtesy floor is your opportunity to speak to the council, but we don't really engage in answering questions at this
Okay.
time. So please feel free to announce minutes left if you'd like.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm just concerned with the rest of the citizens, you know, about the upcoming school closing and how some of the decisions or votes in the state legislature trickle down, and now we're kind of facing these issues, and just wanted to state that I'm concerned and I'd like to be involved moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Grace. Okay, we will, I think that's the end of courtesy of the floor. I don't see anybody popping up. I do apologize for the temperature in this room and also the current size of the room, two things that are fine with me because I love a good warm room, but it's normally a meat locker in here. So at some point you're going to feel a whoosh of cold air, hopefully sooner than later. So we will move on to our resolutions. Resolution A, Madam Clerk, will you read by title? I'm just kidding. Consent agenda? Go ahead.
I made the motion and it was seconded already, so we're ready for a voice vote.
Oh, did we not? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, because he jumped up. I got it. Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Back on track to Resolution A, Madam Clerk. Read by title only, please.
A resolution of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, amending the operating budget for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2023, and ending September 30th, 2024, and providing for an effective date.
Ms. Gosling, would you like to make a report on this?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Ashley Gossett, CFO. Before you tonight is a resolution amending the operating budget for fiscal '24 for all the activities since the original budget was adopted in September through to the end of March. Listed in the resolution is each individual item, the reason, and when it may have been before council earlier this year. And as always, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have on any of the items.
Thank you, Ms. Gossett, and I apologize for calling you Ms. Gossman. The heat got to me. And a motion on this item?
I move that we adopt resolution number 2169-2024, amending the operating budget of the city of Jacksonville Beach, Florida for the fiscal year beginning October 1st, 2023, and ending September 30th, 2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions by council? Ms. Golding?
I would just say thank you for the work that you do on this report that you put together. It definitely helps us understand all the things that were approved that we need to remember. But it's very good, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments from council? Mr. Mesa, do you have any questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Meza,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, motion carries. Madam Clerk, item B, please read by title only.
A resolution of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, requesting the Duval County School Board take action to ensure that Seabreeze Elementary School and San Pablo Elementary School continue to operate as the community's elementary schools and not be subject to closure, providing for adoption of recitals, repeal of prior inconsistent resolutions and council decisions, severability, and an effective date.
Thank you. We'll hold off on a motion for a second. This resolution, as I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with, is on the agenda in response to a recent presentation to the Duval County School Board that presented cost-saving options that included multiple variations of closing and consolidating Beach's schools. While we understand that this was a presentation of a consultant and far from an executable plan, the three Beaches cities, Atlantic Beach at their meeting last week, and Neptune and Jacksonville Beaches at their meetings tonight, are considering resolutions in support of our Beaches schools. So we'll go ahead and start public comment now before we do a motion on the item, and I do have two statements to read first that were sent in. Unfortunately, Mayor Deegan wanted to be here for this meeting, but she is in San Diego representing our city. So her statement, Mayor Donna Deegan, City of Jacksonville. I wholeheartedly support the work of stakeholders at the Beaches to keep our neighborhood schools open. While Duval County schools must do all they can to adjust to a changing education environment, it's clear the community is strongly behind supporting these valued local institutions, and I champion their efforts. We also received a statement from School Board Representative April Carney. I would like to personally thank the Beaches community for the outpouring of support for all of our District 2 schools. As the superintendent and school board have noted, the proposal gaining so much attention recently is only the first draft. It came from a consultant who presented it to our board earlier this year. Nothing has been decided, and there will be a tremendous amount of community conversation before final plans are written and presented to the school board for approval. We're in the very early stages of this process, and I encourage everyone to stay engaged and interact with all 7 board members. I ask that you please watch tomorrow's board workshop at 9 a.m., which will be live streamed and available for playback as we start to look at scheduling community engagement meetings for the near future. Please keep your emails and calls coming with your thoughts, concerns, and wonderful ideas. I've enjoyed speaking to everyone who has contacted me thus far and want us to be in this process together as a community. I am proud of our high-performing schools of excellence at the Beaches and will continue to support what makes our community such a special place to live and work. So unfortunately, while they couldn't be here, I do thank them for sending in their comments. We'll open the floor for public comments, and I'll call the Honorable Lori Diamond up to the podium.
And honorable, you're right.
And George.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Rory and the much more popular George Diamond, 1515 Oceanfront, Neptune Beach. I will say this, I walked over from my new office. I'm your newest small business in Jax Beach until the Greek Donut place opens in a couple of days. But George had like every single restaurant and front door to choose to go to the bathroom on. He saved it for Jax Beach City Hall. And I have not figured out if that's a political statement or if he just loves your beautifully curated lawn. So thank you for the nice lawn. That's my only joke today, because the subject of our beaches schools is very, very serious. And you only need to look at the people behind me, the folks who showed up at Atlantic Beach Commission last week about the potential closure of Atlantic Beach Elementary. And I've never seen the beaches so united about anything than to keep our beaches schools open and to ensure that our high-performing, A-plus, awesome community-supported elementary schools from Atlantic Beach Elementary and the families and the people behind me are here to support Seabreeze Elementary and San Pablo Elementary to keep them open. And any notion of closing them, I think, is absolute insanity. I understand that we have too many schools in our district. A lot of that goes back to, he's always more popular and more interesting than me, forgive me. If you go back to segregation in the city of Jacksonville, we were building two schools, side by side, a black school and a white school, and now we have too many schools, and that's what happened. Our community finally, either through the courts or common sense, realized that that's absolutely wrong. That is not right-sized the number of schools we have. In addition, the number of students who are in Duval County Public Schools has come down every single year since 2013. And so when the Master Facilities Plan came out, it should have taken it into account, this falling enrollment. It should have, but it did not, and that was a mistake. And so now I strongly think that DCPS needs to take into account that the district needs to shrink, but you close failing schools, not A-plus, awesome, well-supported schools here at the beaches. I don't care what the politics tell our school board. The reality and facts and statistics mean that Seabreeze, San Pablo, and Atlantic Beach Elementary need to stay open, period. And if they try to close them, the fight is not over. We will sue. We will do whatever it takes to keep our beaches schools open. And we will win, because there's no logic that supports that decision. So that's my stance. I'm here to fight for our community, for our schools, and for our beaches. And this is a long road, so I ask the folks, if you've got these shirts, get ready to wash them, because we're going to be wearing them over and over and over again until, at the end of the day, the Duval School Board just says, no, we're not going to close those beaches schools. I've spoken a lot with April Carney, our district school board member, over the last couple of weeks, as you can imagine. She's been inundated with people giving her advice and thoughts. But I will say this, every single time I ask her about these three beaches elementaries, she's always very clear that they absolutely should not close. And so I have a lot of faith that she'll keep up that fight. So thank you for your time, I appreciate it. And George and I will get out of this very, very hot room. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Diamond. I just felt, did anyone feel the cool air kick in? I felt it. It's coming, it's coming. We have quite a few speakers, or speaker cards for people who want to express their support, but not necessarily speak. So I'll just raise your hand when I call your name. So in support of the resolution, we have Heather Nowicki. If you want to raise your hand, thank you, Heather, for being here. Tabitha Tuggle. Thank you, Tabitha. John Patrick. Thank you, John. Stephanie Scanapico. How close was I? Not close. Krista Murphy. Thank you, Krista. Edith Williams. Thank you, Edith. Lindsay Williams. Thank you, Lindsay. Colleen Newbegin. Is that close? Okay. Close enough that she raised her hand. Ariel Johnson. Kathy Arbrister. I know I got that one right. Stafford Williams. I thought this might be a young student here. Enka Malam. Jessica Morris. You guys are just doing this to make me read hard names. I got it. Additional people that want to support. James Manson. Thank you, James. Jennifer Feber. You'll always be Jen out to me. Erin Harris. Erin Fitzsimmons Harris. I know she was here. Melissa Bodkin. Thank you. Megan Weigel. Erin Whitlock. Thank you, Erin. Stephanie Dixon. Holly Scala.
Hi, here.
Thank you, Holly. Megan Tiliakos.
You got it.
Did I? Yes, that's one.
Yay.
Karen Mitchum. Thank you, Karen. Frankie Mitchum. Thank you, Frankie. And then the two earlier speakers also indicated support but did not wish to speak, Rachel Gage and Casey Braun. Thank you both. to the cards that wish to speak, and when I call your name, if you come up to the podium, give us your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes. Elizabeth Borders.
Hello, Elizabeth Borders, 1637 6th Avenue North. I'm a concerned Seabreeze mom who loves Jack's Beach, and I'm a proud supporter of all of our neighborhood public schools. The very fact that we are here today is a testament to the total failure of the existing system, a system that has left us feeling powerless and disenfranchised. I and many others feel tricked by school choice and how those words were used to pull at our heartstrings and lure us into the false sense that our elected leaders actually cared about our choice. Instead of having choice, we find ourselves trapped in a two-tiered system where charter schools aren't eligible for closure, while Seabreeze, an A-rated school of excellence and a clearly beloved piece of our Jack's Beach community, is threatened with closure. How is this school choice when the entire beach community has no choice and has no voice? We are silenced when our local elected DCPS school board has no jurisdiction over the very schools that are bankrupting our beach schools. It's taxation without representation over how our funds are spent. Not one of us wants our public schools to close, yet we're being held hostage by the overreaching laws imposed by the state of Florida, laws that strip away our fundamental state constitutional right for our local school board officials to control and determine how our local taxpayer dollars are distributed to our schools. Today's tax day. We, the people of Jack's Beach and other residents of Duval County, fund these charter schools with our tax dollars. Charter schools conveniently consider themselves public schools when the money is being dealt. Yet, when it comes to facing the consequences of the failing system that they created, they conveniently aren't under our board's jurisdiction, and they're not eligible for closure. So far, the state of Florida has mandated that we divert $62 million of our district's voter-approved half-cent sales tax to charter schools, and in this totally unjust two-tier system, these charter schools, unlike our public schools, don't receive these on a need based on their needs. They aren't obligated to use the funds on capital projects or school improvements. It's literally just a bonus check the state of Florida is mandating that our Jack's Beach residents pay to these charter schools. Meanwhile, our incredible Jack's Beach schools like Seabreeze and San Pablo are facing closure and consolidation. These are staples of our community, and they've educated generations of our Jack's Beach residents. And because of this unjust system, they are struggling for funding. So today I'm here asking the Jack's Beach Council and the mayor to stand up for Seabreeze and San Pablo and all of our beach schools and fight to give us back our local autonomy and save our beach schools. Thank you all for bringing this resolution.
Thank you, Ms. Borders.
Hi, my name is Mandy Rubin. I live at 582 8th Avenue North. And I don't know how I'm going to follow that. Way to go, Elizabeth. First, I want to say thank you to Mayor Hoffman and the City Council for your swift response and action on the Master Facility Plan proposal. It means so much to know that our local representatives support and believe in traditional public education as much as we do. I full-heartedly support the resolution drafted by this council to request that DCPS not mess with the good thing we have going on with our beaches public schools. I hope that in addition to this resolution, that we as a city council and community can engage our school board productively to eliminate the need to consolidate or close any of our beaches elementary schools. We need a solution to the budget shortage, of course, but one that involves closing our schools, which would then be offered up to charters for the taking, cannot and should not be considered. What would the impact be on our property values if all of our beaches elementary schools closed? The traffic implications. This proposal clearly has not been thought through to the end, and I appreciate your action, again, to share our vital voices to this discussion. Finally, I would like to point out the reason that we are in this situation, which is connected in part to the half-penny tax referendum, which was supposed to fund the updates and maintenance our public schools need. Instead, we have been forced to share it with charter schools who do not need it, which was unfortunately championed by one of our Jacksonville City Council members. Rory, I'm not sure if you're still here. I am grateful to his support today. I really am. But we do need an explanation for why he insisted that DCPS have in writing that we share that half-penny tax before he would allow it to go to a vote. Public funds should not be going to privately owned organizations that run charters. They do not have to hold themselves to the same standards of anti-discrimination when it comes to their attendance and who goes there. They do not have to get approval for their curriculum. It is not run by the state. They are not held to the same standards as true public schools are. If there is any influence that we have as a city council here to exert pressure on that requirement, I think that we should exercise it as swiftly as possible. Save our beaches schools, save San Pablo. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Natalie Brewster.
Hi, good evening. Natalie Brewster, 2519 Independence Drive, Jacksonville Beach. I'm the parent of 2 elementary-age boys who attend Seabreeze Elementary. I work full-time as a physician recruiter at the Mayo Clinic, and I've lived in the South Jacks Beach area for over 10 years and have owned our home since 2016. We moved to our current neighborhood because it met our needs at the time. We thought it would be fun to live near the beach. We chose to buy our home and root ourselves here because of the community. The anchor of that community is Seabreeze Elementary. Our seahorses can often be found walking, biking, scootering, or skateboarding together to school. Many parents accompany them in the morning and afternoons. This is a natural way that families have gotten to know each other. We chose this area because of the ability to be connected to a neighborhood school where our kids would make friends and have opportunities to see each other outside of school. Seahorses find each other at Sunshine Park, in the neighborhoods, at the baseball field. Not only do our kids get to attend an A school and a school of excellence, but they are able to attend a school that teaches them about and anchors them to a community. The beaches are special, and we all know that. When work friends decided to leave the beach to build their large homes in St. Johns County, complete with water parks, we stayed, even though we have outgrown our home. Rather than sell our home and leave the area, we embarked on an addition to our own because that is how tied we are to this community. We chose to stay because of the community and family-friendly nature of South Jacks Beach. Should Seabreeze not be part of that in its existing location, the community as we know it would disappear. Thank you.
Hi. When the district identified the need for the half-cent sales tax, I spoke at the Jacksonville City Council meeting in order to voice the importance of the investment in our city schools and the need to place it on the ballot for voters. At that time, Seabreeze was planned for a new building due to its age. Voters were made promises regarding investments in Duval County facilities. The revised master facilities plan will be a huge deviation from what voters agreed to. When we must pay tax money to restore the dunes of our beaches or invest in our roads, we're investing in our community. There is not a more powerful way to invest in the citizens of Duval County than to provide them with access to a high-quality education. Seabreeze and San Pablo need to remain open to provide the beaches community with the plan they were promised when we voted on the half-cent sales tax. As a teacher at Seabreeze, and a parent of a 5th grader and a 2nd grader, I see the countless ways our schools ties our community's families together and form strong bonds. Our assistant principal and our guidance counselor and teachers address the diverse needs of our students. We do have students experiencing homelessness and a lot of students experiencing poverty. If we built as a large K-8 school, the students would not get the individualized attention and support they get from our school community at this time. And we have roughly 520 students, so it's not like we're facing an issue recruiting students. We have many students on the school choice waiting list as well. Our volunteers organize busings in the backpack so that children in poverty have food on the weekends. Our nonprofit enhances the kids' education by funding a STEM teacher, salaries, which is something extra that's not provided by Duval County. There's a million reasons that Seabreeze should be rebuilt as a K-5 as promised. As a county, we would not close half of, or as a country, we would not close half of our national parks just because of the costs associated with running our national parks. Our city's public schools have provided benefits similar to our national parks. The beauty of a highly functioning school family and the change in the trajectory of students' life outcomes is a treasure just as precious as our national parks. We are investing in the children who are our future. Additionally, if we think about the environmental impact of the world that we're leaving to our children 50 years from now, more cars on the road, there'll be more car riders if the two schools are combined, parents choosing to drive their child, and the pollution of additional buses. I believe the additional pollution would outweigh the price of two smaller buildings in their current location versus the air conditioning in one large building. They're also talking about increasing the bus zone to a 2-mile radius. So that would have a lot of our impoverished students crossing Beach Boulevard to get to school, which is very dangerous. We're a school of excellence. Thank you guys so much for your time and your support. Thank you, Ms. James.
I live at 1645 6th Avenue North. I have a current first grader at San Pablo Elementary and an incoming kindergartner. As some others have talked about, the bottom line is the state created these budget issues from tax dollars going to private school vouchers and charter schools. But I also want to talk about the age gap. There's discussion of a K through 8. And that's problematic for safety reasons with 5, 6, and 7-year-olds going to school with 12, 13, and 14-year-olds, as well as adjustment for younger children into the education system. Even if you combine San Pablo and Seabreeze, that puts 1,000 students in elementary school in one school. If it's K through 8, that's 2,200 at the current number of children in San Pablo, Seabreeze, and Fletcherville. Furthermore, these kids and the teachers have overcome a lot in recent years, from COVID, closing down schools and having to adjust to that, getting back into schools, and getting used to the new life in school. The last thing they need is another obstacle. We all know that these are top A-rated schools, and all of them are at 94 to 97% capacity. Combining these schools, we're going to have traffic issues. Geographically, it really doesn't make sense. I mean, at San Pablo, a lot of these students are walkers and bikers that live very close to the school. In fact, we've had days where it's hey, walk or bike to school is the challenge or the thing to do that day. So I just don't want to see these schools get combined. It puts a lot of people out. So we would really appreciate the support to save our schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Senator Sharp.
Hi, I'm Treasure Sharp, and I'm at 1211 18th Avenue North. And I'm here, I just want to say that I hope we can find something else to do instead of closing schools at the beaches or combining them. One of my children has an IEP, and it's an individual education plan. And he went to Neptune Beach first because they have a great VE program, if you don't know, like the ESE classes and things. And I'm worried about those students. What about those kids with their IEPs and their plans? That was so hard to get. It took me over a year in order to get him an IEP, for them to tell me there's 3 schools at the beaches I could choose, and for me to research it, tour it, find one that fit him and fit our family. So I finally found one, and now all of the parents that are like me in my boat that had to go and struggle, what's going to happen to these kids, and all of the master plan and all of these discussions, I haven't heard anyone talk about what are we going to do with these kids with the IEPs. What are we going to do, what is their plan? And I haven't heard anything about what their plan is. I know if you combine schools, what's going to happen to the teachers? I know, certain teachers that teach that they have specialized like certifications and things like that. Are they gonna be the same? Are they gonna be different? Transportation issues. They can't ride on a regular school bus. Those are all different. And I have yet to hear anything regarding those children in that future. Also, I just wanna say, K through 8, how again is that gonna look when you have specialized program like gifted, specialized classes, things like that. And not only that, elementary school, both my kids are in elementary school. And I love it. That's a time for them to be young, to be silly. Middle school, we all know, I know if you have some middle schoolers, that's sassy, they're mean, like, let that be later, Give me my elementary time with them. Don't make them grow up too quick. And I just hope that whenever you guys have your discussion later on, you ask about those children whose parents fight so hard for them all the time just to make sure they get what other kids get. Is someone going to stand up for them and speak for them as well? Because I know we don't want any students, any children to suffer, but let alone that population that needs a voice. So thank you guys.
Hi, I am Jamie McCann, 1867 Kings Court. I am a San Pablo Elementary teacher. Live here in Jacks Beach, and most importantly, I'm here tonight because 2 of my children attend San Pablo Elementary. I really hope that my 3-year-old also gets to attend. At San Pablo, we take care of 500 kids, very similar to Seabreeze, and it's a school where we really take care of our own. We're able to do that because we are such a small school. Our kids are provided clothes, Thanksgiving meals, toys around the holidays. This week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're planting sea oats on the beach in conjunction with Sea Turtle Patrol. These kinds of events are able to be planned with dedication of our community. I really appreciate how Jacks Beach has responded to the proposal by the school board. I also know that DCPS school board are essentially the people and ultimately the people that will decide on whether this proposal will move forward or not. But the voice and the unity of our beaches community, the way that we are expressing our support for our public beach schools, helps all of us stay focused on our goal. We want our successful beach schools to remain open and running in the efficient, community-built way that we currently are. We do not want our schools to merge to be a K-8, and we do not want any of our elementary schools at the beach at all to close. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Jessica Morris. I live at 3881 Point Siena Boulevard. And today I come to you with a plea to preserve the heart and soul of our community, our local neighborhood elementary schools. In the face of proposals to close these cherished institutions, we must stand united in defense of what truly matters, our children, our neighborhoods, and our shared sense of belonging. Closing our neighborhood elementary schools is not just a logistical decision. It's a betrayal of the very fabric that binds us together. These schools are more than just buildings. They are the lifeblood of our communities, the hubs of social cohesion and collective identity. They are where friendships are forged, where bonds between parents and educators are strengthened, and where memories are made that last a lifetime. But beyond sentimental value, there are compelling reasons to keep our local neighborhood elementary schools open. Firstly, these schools serve as the foundation upon which our children's educational journeys begin. They provide a safe, familiar environment where young learners can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Closing these schools disrupts this critical continuity, forcing children to adapt to new environments, new routines, and new faces, a disruption that can have profound and lasting effects on their well-being and academic success. Small neighborhood schools are not just buildings. They are hubs of social cohesion and collective support. They are places where parents chat with teachers at drop-offs, where local businesses sponsor field trips, and where grandparents attend school plays. In these environments, the boundaries between home and school blur, creating a seamless web of support that extends far beyond the classroom walls. This sense of belonging and community engagement not only enriches the educational experiences, but also instills values of empathy, cooperation, and civic responsibility in our future generations. In conclusion, the closure of our local elementary schools isn't merely about losing physical space. It's about losing the heart and soul of our community. It's about severing the ties that bind us together, eroding our collective identity, and dimming the beacon of hope for future generations. Let us stand firm in our resolve to protect what matters most: our children, our neighborhoods, and the vibrant tapestry of community life. Together, let us ensure that these treasured institutions continue to serve as bastions of opportunity, unity, and belonging for all who call our beaches community home.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. That was the last speaker card. I would, yes, sir? Did you spell speak with that?
Jeremy, I marked my card wrong. May I speak?
Please come on up. I'm sorry. Are you sure you want to follow that one, though?
I'm John Backus. I live at 707 1st Street South, Jacksonville Beach, St. Catherine condos. I didn't know this was on the agenda tonight. I came by to see how you folks were doing. I have two sons, two grown sons who went to Seabreeze Elementary. Okay? They walked from my house up to school. They came back, we did homework. Most days they went to my mother's around the corner.
You're addressing the council, Mr.
Yeah, okay. Well, these are my friends. Thank you. But anyway, I just want to express my support for Seabreeze. My children did well. My boys are grown, very successful, and I would like these folks to have that same opportunity for their children. Thank you for letting me speak.
So that's it for public comment. I would encourage you all, those were some really well thought out speeches. Please make sure you're emailing them to, and I wouldn't just limit yourself to School Board Member Carney. I would email all of the school board members with those messages and keep it up. Can we have a motion, please?
I move that we adopt resolution number 2172-2024, requesting the Duval County School Board take action to ensure that Seabreeze Elementary School and San Pablo Elementary School continue to operate as the community's elementary schools and not be subject to closure.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Discussion by council. Mr. Jansen.
I don't even know where to start. So first off, I too am a graduate of Seabreeze Elementary. My family runs deep into local schools here. My wife is a teacher at San Pablo Elementary. And I did not support the sales tax, either one of them, because mostly in part because of the way they were written. They lacked substance, they lacked detail, and there was too many open ends that really allowed the school board to kind of, I want to say mismanage or misuse that money, but it was open-ended, so I couldn't support it, and I didn't support it. But here we are today, feeling the effects of that very issue of having a poorly written tax. And I'll add this, I was just recently appointed to the Duval County Public Schools Tax Oversight Committee. It's a mouthful. And with this proposal, I have more questions than I have answers now. And those questions are going to come in the May meeting. Rest assured on that. The primary question that I have is, how do you look your constituents in the face that all supported this tax, and then turn and tell them that you were going to build a new school for Seabreeze, tear it down, build a new one, you were going to put San Pablo in a deferred maintenance program, and then turn around and change your mind? How do you do that? How do you look these taxpayers in the face, the ones that voted for it? So they need an answer to that, number one. Some of the other issues that I see, the last meeting that I attended, I did bring up San Pablo Elementary being built in 1957, and how come they didn't make the list to get the rebuild. And the only answer I was given at the time was, well, we thought it all out, and we believe that because of the ages of the school. And I know that, I think just recently they rebuilt Ribault, and that was a 1957 school as well. And so I was given an answer as to, well, it just didn't make it, it made the deferred maintenance list. But nowhere in there did they say they had a proposal, and this wasn't 30 days ago. So all of a sudden, how did this change almost literally overnight? So I stand behind Councilman Diamond. I think that if this does happen, we should sue him and find out, what's going on, because we are taxpayers and we did vote for this. Well, some people voted for it. So when it comes to the resolution, one of the plans, so I looked at the proposal, there's two avenues in this proposal. One of them was to combine the two schools and rebuild San Pablo Elementary and then let Fletcher Middle stand as it is. And the other plan was to combine them all together into Fletcher Middle and make it a K-8. So when it comes to this resolution, I would like to make an amendment to add one word in here that says, the resolution of the City of Jacksonville Beach, Florida, requesting Duval School Board take action to ensure that Seabreeze Elementary School and San Pablo Elementary School continue to operate, I would say, after the word operate, independently as the community's elementary schools and not be subject to closure, et cetera, and so on. That way we cover both sides of that they need to be independent, not combined together. And I don't want those funny words slipping in there and say, well, we are going to let them still be there. They're just going to be together. So let's make this message clear.
Just a point of order. You made an amendment, so before we discuss the amendment, let's see if is there a second?
Second.
There's a second from Mr. Sutton. Discussion on the amendment. Go ahead, Mr. Jansen.
So I just want to make sure that we're not mixing words and that we make our message explicitly clear when it comes to this resolution.
Any other discussion on the amendment? Mr. Sutton, Wagner, your light's are on. Mr. Sutton, no? Discussion on the amendment? Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call as to the amendment to add the word independent? Or was it independent?
Independently.
Independently.
Councilmember Horn,
Yes.
Councilmember Jansen,
Yes.
Councilmember Meza,
Yes.
Councilmember Sutton,
Yes.
Councilmember Wagner,
Yes.
Councilmember Golding,
Yes.
Mayor Hoffman.
Yes, amendment passes. Mr. Jansen, did you have further comments?
I don't think so.
We can come back to you.
Yeah.
Mr. Sutton.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, thanks everybody for being here. And it just seems like a bad joke to me. These two schools have been part of the fabric of our community since the 50s, and two super high-performing schools, and the best teachers in Duval County are at these schools, and a lot of the best teachers are at Fletcher and Fletcher as well, for a reason. It's really because of this community. So I certainly stand with you and, encourage the school board to go back and look. I think they've gotten a little caught up. The whole, setup that they have with the charter schools, I think needs to be revisited, because certainly that has exacerbated this problem.
Yep.
And, while I think choice is fine, it can't be at the expense of what we're facing today. That's unacceptable. I think they've gotten a little caught up in efficiency versus effectiveness. And these two schools are highly effective, and I plan on, to the point that I can affect it, them being there for a long time. I attended San Pablo a few years ago, and my son attended San Pablo and had Ms. Newbegin as a teacher. And so, just the thought of either one of these institutions at the beach in Jacksonville Beach going away, I find disturbing and highly unacceptable, and certainly support everybody. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Sutton. Mr. Wagner?
I want to start by thanking each of our wonderful beach teachers, parents, and residents that have come up, that have, in this setting and in settings out, and then of course outside of this setting. I think it's just a wonderful testament. I want you guys to keep it up, and I think you're going to hear from most of us, or all of us, that we're going to keep it up, right? This is something that's important to us. I'm a beach native. My mother had a 40-year teaching career here in Duval County. My mother was vice principal at Seabreeze Elementary. She started the first SLD class in Mayport Elementary.
I've gone to almost every elementary school because I had to go wherever she was. And you know, it's just, my brother was patrol at Seabreeze. I mean, like, you know, this is important to us. And you know, and all of the wonderful things that I heard, there was a couple of folks that referenced that they felt that we didn't have a voice. And so we really need to make sure that we overcome that as a community and that everybody feels that they have a voice. And we're here to be part of that. We're here to represent you guys. So keep the messages going, just like the Honorable Mayor suggested. And don't be shy about giving them to us as well. You know, information, data, speaking points. It's so much more impactful when we can say, our wonderful teachers, our wonderful parents, our wonderful residents say X, Y, and Z. So please keep it up. Do not let us allow you guys to feel like you don't have a voice, that our wonderful, you know, centerpieces of our communities aren't loved and beloved and aren't going to be here for a long time. So you do your part and we'll do our part and we'll all do it together.
Thank you, Mr. Wagner. Sandy Golding, Ms. Golding.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, fellow council members, for your comments, and thank you, everyone, for your amazing comments. I live just down the street from San Pablo Elementary School, and my husband went to San Pablo Elementary School, so these schools are a very, very important part of our. I totally agree with what everyone has said. These schools need to stay a part of our community. And I wanted to mention, I don't know if anyone else is aware of this, but I was made aware of an interlocal agreement that exists between our Duval County school system and the city of Jacksonville Beach, as well as the other beaches cities. And then we have also public schools facilities element in our comp plan. And interestingly, the interlocal agreement says that the city council will meet with DCPS and legislative bodies of the other municipalities on an annual basis in a joint workshop or meeting session to discuss, and it lists off all kinds of things. But ultimately, I think that's an opportunity for us to have a voice in what happens to our community schools. The interlocal agreement says that that DCPS is supposed to be scheduling these, and I checked with our deputy city manager, and she checked with our city clerk, and we're not aware of any meetings that have ever been scheduled. So I am going to suggest that we as a council make sure that change. And again, I fully support our schools, and along with our fellow council members, we'll do everything I can to make sure they stay where they are and they stay open and supported like they are from our entire community.
Thank you, Ms. Golding. Mr. Horn?
I'll be brief. Well done. Keep it up. Okay, do exactly what you're doing. And reach out to the members of the school board, reach out to your elected officials, whether it be us, whether it be Jacksonville. They need to know that there's a big group of angry parents out there, and they're not going to put up with it. One of the problems in some areas of Jacksonville is that people have left their local schools because the schools are not providing what they want. And there are good parents that are saying, if I can't get it here, I will go to a charter school because my local school is not what I need. Well, we're finding out, and what we all know is that Seabreeze and San Pablo and these schools at the beaches, all these schools at the beaches are exactly what the parents want and need, and they're like, please don't let this go away, and we will support you. Just reach out to the school board, just keep it up. Okay, and thank you all for coming, seriously. Thank you for being such great advocates for your children. My 2 kids went to Seabreeze.
Mr. Jansen?
Yeah, I just remembered in closing. So when I attend the next surtax oversight meeting, I'm going to bring with me, I've already received a handful of emails. Any of the emails that I have regarding the tax issue itself, I can bring and I'm going to present them as well to this surtax. In this meeting is a table or a head table that contains all the administrators from Krisner on down, Corey Wright, all of them are there at this meeting. And so they'll get to hear your voice if I have that email that addresses
any tax issues.
Thank you, Mr. Jansen. Mr. Mesa, do you have any comments you'd like to share?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Good. I want to thank everyone for showing up. My apologies, I'm under the weather. I wish I could be there. But I support this resolution more than 10%. I believe education is very important. And I think what the Beaches community represents, from Seabreeze to Mayport, I think it's very important that we keep all the schools open. To my colleague Dan Johnson, appreciate you bringing that amendment forward. Anything that we could do as a city council to make sure that we don't have any loopholes or we wouldn't want to leave anything out to the parents and the teachers, to the community here at the beach, the meeting. Thank you very much. As a part of a school board in California that has many problems, I think this is an ongoing problem that goes on all over the country. And I think this is something that the school board administrative staff should be looking into, because this is something that should never happen. I support this 110%. I stand with the parents. We should keep Seabreeze Elementary School open and support the other schools as well. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mesa. We hope you feel better. Any other comments from council?
I have some notes prepared, and I don't think I can cover these items as nearly as eloquently as all of you did. But I do want to say I am a Neptune Beach Elementary School student. We were a Navy family, and I think if my mom had had to figure out where we were going to go to school versus the school that we were just zoned for, I'd probably still be figuring out where I was going to be going to kindergarten. So I am grateful for that. I am grateful for Neptune Beach and all of our beaches schools. And I want to thank all of you who leapt into action, because I think all of us were very surprised by this. And I want to thank the parents, some of you who are in this room, who alerted me to this issue so that I could start talking to my fellow beaches mayors, to our school board representative, and as well as the school board chair as recently as this morning. It sounds like this resolution is going to pass, so now I can more firmly speak with the support of the city of Jacksonville Beach behind us, which we'll be doing this week. We have a meeting coming up in the interlocal